Alright, we've got Electrolux washing machine here, and the customer is complaining that it's leaking from the bottom. So as usual, we're gonna connect the water and the drain connection in the back, and we're gonna run the unit and see where the water is coming from. So when we take it apart, we can see where it's leaking. Let's go ahead and connect the water connection and the drain. Let's go ahead, connect the power, turn on the unit, close the door, select the cycle, and start the cycle. So the drum is filling up with the water and spinning back and forth. It seems like all the functions in the unit are working great, but it doesn't mean that it's not leaking. So let's let it run for a couple minutes. And already 10 minutes into the cycle, we've noticed that there is water in the back left corner, so the unit is definitely leaking. Alright, it's quite a bit of water, so let's go ahead and turn off the unit so it doesn't leak more. And let's go ahead and wipe off all the water so it doesn't damage the wooden floors. I suggest you do the same if your unit is leaking. That's quite a bit of water, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. So as soon as you turn off the unit, it will drain by itself. So let's allow the unit to finish draining so we don't have that much water to deal with. So most of the time washing machines are leaking through the gasket, so let's go ahead and check it all around and make sure there's no holes where the water could go through. So all you have to do is go through the gasket with the good lighting so you can see any rips or holes where the water could go through. Check very carefully and pay attention to small details. I did not find any leaks here, so let's go ahead and take it apart. Let's go ahead and disconnect the drain and the water connection. Make sure to use cloth to catch all the remaining water in the system. Those basic tools are required: a flashlight, a small wrench, a pair of pliers, and a flat screwdriver. So as usual, let's go ahead and remove the back screws to remove the top cover. Place your hands on top and slide the top cover off. Now all we have to do is unscrew the two screws holding the control panel back in so we can remove it out of its way so we can work with the rest of the components. Remove the soap dispenser out of the way by pressing release button. Now grab your friendly flashlight so you can find the remaining 4 screws that hold the control panel back in place. Perfect, now we can see clearly. Let's remove those 4 screws out of the way. And there's 2 more screws on the lower side that hold the control panel, so we're gonna grab the 90-degree extension bit and remove it. Oh no, I just dropped the bit on the bottom of the unit. Don't worry, for those cases you can use the magnetic extended stick to catch all the magnetic pieces that fell off your tool. The magnetic force will help you to get the lost part, and all you have to do is lift it up like so. Perfect! Let's finally deal with those 2 screws on the bottom side of the control panel and remove them. Perfect, they're out. Now we can remove the control panel. Once you remove the control panel, just remove the connectors, and let's remove the control panel out of its way so we can work with the soap dispenser. We just ran the unit for a couple minutes and I already see there is water inside from the usage. So it's not supposed to be here, and it's definitely leaking from somewhere here. So let's go ahead and inspect that part more and see what we can find. So let's go ahead and disconnect all the hoses from the soap dispenser. Here it's using the clamp, so we're using vice grip to remove it. Alright, let's remove the remaining hoses in the back of soap dispenser. Those are fill up the hoses that are connected directly to the water inlet valves, and they have the rings as well. So let's use our vice grip to remove them out of the way. So the hoses are stuck with its plastic connectors, so grab a flat screwdriver and remove the hoses from the top like so. Perfect. Here's one. And here's two. So let's go ahead and inspect all the hoses and make sure there's no cracks or leaks going on there. So this hose is fine. This hose is in good condition as well. This hose looks okay. This hose is a bit dirty and has water on it, but it doesn't seem to have any cracks. So the leak is definitely coming from top of the unit. There is still water on top of the drum. We inspected the hoses, they're fine. So let's go ahead and inspect the soap dispenser. So pay extra attention while inspecting the soap dispenser so you can find any cracks or leaks. Just rotate the part and make sure that you do not find any cracks. I can already see that the soap dispenser top piece is not connecting well with the bottom piece, and there is a big gap here between the two panels. And it doesn't want to close back together the way it should be. So let's go ahead and see what else could be stuck in here that is in the way. That could explain why it was leaking from the soap dispenser, because the way it works is that the valves are connected in the back, so there is high water pressure going through the soap dispenser. And if there is a crack, the water will find its way and leak out of the soap dispenser right on top of the drum. So that would explain why there was water coming from top of the unit. So I went ahead and separated the top piece from the bottom piece, and I cleaned the top piece from all the calcium buildup. There was a lot of buildup on the side walls here, and that is why the top cover was not closing well with the bottom piece, and that is why it was leaking. So the substance looked like exactly it looks like on the bottom soap dispenser, and it's really hard. As you can see, I can't even take it off with a pair of pliers. So what happens is the hard water turns into the calcium buildup and then mixes with the product and turns into the solid substance that separated the top piece from the bottom piece. So I've cleaned it all up, so let's go ahead and connect the two pieces together and install the part back in and test the unit once again. Now the two pieces connected well together, so we can go ahead and install it. Now let's follow the steps back and let's make sure we connect the right hoses into the right fitting. The hot and cold cannot be mixed up or you will have issues in the future. Let's connect the O-rings back in place. Now we have to connect the front hoses back into the soap dispenser. There's a tricky O-ring here, so in order to not struggle too much, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a pair of vice grips and we're gonna squeeze the O-ring before we put it on the hose and connect it on the soap dispenser. Trust me, it's not a lot of fun. As you can see, I'm a bit struggling myself, but once you're on site doing the repair, it might be a terrible problem. In some cases, you'll have to try a couple times before you can get it right. Now press the release on your vice grip. Perfect! Now the other hose won't be a problem at all. It uses amazing technique to connect to the soap dispenser. Put the control panel back in and line it up. Now let's put the remaining screws back on so the control panel sits tight. Be careful to not drop your extension bit once again onto the bottom of the unit. Now simply line up the soap dispenser with the control panel and put back the 4 remaining screws. Now put the soap dispenser drawer back in. Put back the top cover and screw the screws. Let's connect the water and drain connection once again so we can test it. Perfect, so it's the moment of the truth. We're gonna see if it's leaking. Let's go ahead and run the cycle. So the unit is running fine, there's no more leaks. But wait, I can still see water coming from the bottom corner right here. As you can see, there's still water. Let me open the drain pump and inspect it further and see if there's something else missing. Let's go ahead and open this little trap window. And someone did not close the drain pump filter assembly, so it's definitely leaking from here. Let's go ahead and tie it up. And just because of a small thing like that, you might jump in conclusion and think your unit has big problems. Pay attention. So now we're gonna wipe off all the excessive water and run the unit for another 30 minutes and make sure that it's not leaking from any other spots. This was a great example of how people jump into the conclusion and make diagnostic themselves. Make sure you pay attention to small details so you don't spend that extra buck on something you don't need to spend it on.
If you're still experiencing any other issues with your appliance, don't hesitate and call us at 1-866-244-6051. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you could leave a like, comment, as well as share the video, we would greatly appreciate it. Stay in touch for more videos and let us know if you want something specific.